The Lord does not need your money.
Welcome, everyone, to the Salt Lake Expositor. And we thought everybody would want to know that the Lord doesn't need our money, because that's a very important lesson to learn.
Very important.
That's a good thing, because I'm not giving him any.
He already has too much of Randy's money.
That's right.
Yeah,
In fact,
that's the truth.
Had I known how much money Randy paid in tithing back in the day, I would have just wrote on my tithing slip, "See Randy C. Watts."
Oh my gosh.
Just go on the piggyback onto your tithing that one fateful day that you wrote a check for $30,000.
Yeah. That sucks. Thanks for bringing my blood pressure up, Gene.
Yeah, and got no. This is it'll keep you alive, right? By thinking of the past, right? So the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we should say like the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah.
Right? But anyway, they announced
the Brighamite branch
plans for 55 new missions. Now, first of all, I've never heard of any plans for the following year for missions.
No, that's because they're not talking about temples anymore, because they've got too many. So what else can we impress the members with and make it look like we're growing? In my humble
have a prophecy. I prophesy that sometime in the next 10 years, the corporation of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will start offering to pay people's mission expenses for them.
I totally agree.
If they can't afford it. Because,
I
they still want the money from the people who can afford it. But I think in order to entice more people to be missionaries, they're going to start paying for it. Because they don't have enough signups.
Let me predict, Randy, a step in between first. And that is, once you've completed your mission and you get the golden check mark, right? Then they're going to give you like a health savings account, like a school savings account of that money. So you can use that as a checkbook, as a credit card to pay for whatever education you want. So in other words, it's all your money anyway, and it'll be a step so that people that show their dedication, so they can still get people to pay. And then after they do that for a few years, they're just going to be so magnanimous and say, hey, if you want to go on a mission, it's on us, right? Because the 3 people you convert over your 2 years of your mission in Missouri is going to add to our bottom line. So we're going to cover your expenses for this. That's how good we are.
Yes, and I do think that it is a financial proposition. It's like if we pay for a missionary to go out and they only convert one tithe-paying member, then it pays for itself. But also, we all know the real reason that the leadership wants everybody to serve a mission, and that is so that they continue to indoctrinate themselves into the faith. And so they want to make sure that they've got more stalwart people. I think people are going to stop volunteering to go on missions, and that's why they're eventually going to pay. And then, Trevor Larson says they might even start paying people to do cleaning, et cetera. Well, they certainly don't have enough members to staff the temples that they have right now. And so I would imagine that they are going to start paying people to clean the buildings that are pretty empty all the time, and landscaping as well, because we know how much they care about their landscaping.
Megan, if your prediction comes to pass, they sure as hell better start refunding all the missionaries who work their asses off to pay for their own missions, because I could use that right now.
You know what, Randy? I love you, and I would do it if I was prophet, but I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Well, thank you. If you could just put in a good word for me, that would be all you can do, right?
The church listens to me a lot on matters of, finance, because I am a woman and I'm a former member. And we all know that they give a lot of credence to what women have to say in making decisions for the church, and as well as former members. So I will put it in a good word for you.
In fact, as a woman, Megan, you probably often felt that you were one of the most powerful and influential people on earth as a woman compared to any other organization you possibly could have been in.
I
Doesn't
definitely
matter that
did.
India had a prime minister like 50 years ago that was a woman,
Right.
right? That's just small potatoes to be able to make donuts for your priesthood holders that are away at the priesthood meeting.
Right. And honestly, I wish they would just stop, leave me alone and stop asking me what to do with the church because my phone rings all day long. I'm just
Well,
just kidding. It doesn't.
I want you to remember when your phone is ringing off the hook that you are a woman. Hear you roar in numbers too big to ignore.
That would almost make a good song.
It
I
kind
know,
of sounds
right?
catchy.
Yeah. Let me contact Helen Reddy. Oh wait, she died.
Well, you're the only one between us that could contact her. Still, and at least you can thank her for
True.
that song.
That's true.
I could. By the way, last night, no, not last night, night before last, I had a camera notification outside of my home that something was moving. So I, clicked on it. I hadn't gone to sleep yet. And here's an orange orb that's slowly floating down into my driveway. And I pulled up orange orb and it talked about it's a good spirit letting you know that there's good things coming.
It's the Great Pumpkin.
And I have that on video, by the way. So if any of you want to see that, I can certainly provide it to you.
It wasn't one of your Halloween decorations that was just being blown around by the wind.
No, it was an orb that was slowly coming down.
It was the
Wow.
Great Pumpkin.
Yeah.
It could have been because, yeah, maybe he comes in the form of an orb.
Yeah, the Great Pumpkin. That's just a well-known thing. The Great Pumpkin comes and leaves Halloween treats for all the good little girls and boys.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's two holidays being mixed up there, I think. 2 or 3 or 4.
That's the way I remember it.
I had to go around from door to door gathering candy. No Great Pumpkin ever left me any.
Well, maybe you just weren't good enough.
Well, that's probably still the case, actually.
The Great Pumpkin only leaves candy for boys and girls who are worthy to enter the temple of the Lord.
Tim, before the show is over, I will show you the orb.
Exciting.
That's right. So back to the news. So here's this announcement. The Church of Jesus Christ. Ooh, the Church of Jesus Christ. There it is.
There it is,
Yeah, of
right
course.
there.
Announced
think
Right
that's-
there.
That's
They-
my
so the-
prediction.
So we'll have to read this. The Church of Jesus Christ and those other fucking words announces the addition of 55 new missions in 2026. Because that's what they're saying parenthetically, right? This is way too many words.
I think this
Right.
is the first time, though, that I've seen it in print other than churchofjesuschrist.org.
Yeah. So that is pretty amazing.
Well,
It says the new missions will help accommodate a rising number of missionaries and bring the total worldwide total to 506 missions. What were you going to say, Randy?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate you on your very appropriate use of the word parenthetically as your editor-in-chief. I'm proud of you for that. Second of all, I did a little math. And if I could share that, this is what really bothers me is that right now in the Church of Jesus Christ, there are 74,127 full-time missionaries out there. If you divide that number between what will now be 550 missions, that comes to, let me just get back to my calculator here because son of a gun.
506
That comes to
missions.
163 missionaries per mission president. Each president will have 163 missionaries. That's what, barely half of a ward. Seriously, 163 missionaries need a mission president? Shouldn't it be? I mean, it's like the temples. We don't have enough. The Church of Jesus Christ doesn't have enough members to fill up the temples. So why are they putting a mission president or an entire mission dedicated to 163 damn full-time missionaries? Serious?
So it's a bigger than a 10% increase. And I wonder if they send out a notice to the mission presidents, you're going to get a 10% decrease in your allotment in order to pay for these new mission presidents.
Yeah, right?
So, from what I understand, they created these new missions by basically changing the boundaries of the existing missions. And so I don't really think that you can reasonably call them new missions, because I think it's the same geographic area that they've had all these missions in before, and all they did was change the boundaries. I don't think that they've added any geographical locations for missions.
Well, my mission, Madrid mission, was one of those. Now they have the Madrid, I think it's the Madrid East mission that will be developed.
Right.
Here's one thing I also wanted to show is that apparently the Church of Jesus Christ just has cute young girls. in it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
That's
cute
missionary.
is in the eye of the beholder, Gene. So maybe they're all
women
beautiful.
Are beautiful.
I think
All
they're
women are beautiful.
Yeah.
But we know what happened to the last set of cute young missionaries that went out in Colorado and went into the wrong house.
Yeah. Yeah. They thought a pie was baking, didn't they?
They did, and it wasn't actually baking, turns out. That was a true story.
See, if Randy,
Yeah.
if the Randy had been in the place of the sister missionaries, he would have been onto something. Because why, Randy? What do candles smell like?
Yeah. First of all, I've never smelled a candle that really smelled like a pie baking,
It only
I mean,
smells like
come on.
something burning.
like wax. You know, it's got a little bit of a fragrance, but no one's going to fool. I wouldn't walk in and say, wow, someone's baking chocolate chip cookies, because I would know that it was a friggin' candle.
And it says
The,
the
the
new
eyes are good, but the nose knows. You know what I'm saying?
It says the new missions will help accommodate growing number of missionaries already called and will allow missionaries to better support the increasing number of congregations throughout the world. Now, Rebecca Biblioteca reported just a few weeks ago that some statistician was talking about how the birth rate of the church has dropped so fast. And where am I hearing clicking from?
That's
Sorry, it's
Megan
me.
getting ready for the missionaries
I'm
to come
trying to-
by.
I'm trying to light my blueberry pie candle so I can tell you what it smells like.
Okay. But anyhow, so the
Yeah,
problem
you
with
were.
the problem. Oh
What-
yeah, so Rebecca Biblioteca reported that since the birth rate has gone so precipitously low compared to like the 70s, that they can't sustain a growth of missionaries, right? Unless they're going to start saying everybody's a missionary, right? At any age, and have senior missionaries age come all the way down to some ridiculously low number.
Does it smell like you're baking a pie, Megan?
Well, I just have to say this candle is a Place and Time brand warm blueberry pie candle. And this is actually the first time that I've lit it. I bought it because I saw it in the store around the time that movie came out, and I have it sitting in my set behind me all the time. I bet nobody noticed that little Easter egg.
Wow.
But it smells like warm wax is what it smells like.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you
Case in
definitely
point.
could never fool me with a blueberry pie candle because I love baking pie, and you could never fool me with a candle.
Right. And me and Randy, now we might be making a wax pie, and that might be, then we'd be telling the truth, right?
Yeah,
It's
but-
like burning wax or warm wax.
Yeah.
But people who
Um,
really can bake, it would smell like the thing that they're baking.
Do you know how long it would take for you and I to gather enough wax out of our ears to actually make a candle?
Just a couple of weeks.
Please don't do that.
But anyhow, back to this article. President Dallin H. Oak says, it is inspiring to see the number of young church members who continue to answer the call to share the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ around the world. Now, Megan, he's inspired by the young church member. that are
Yeah.
that are answering the call. Why are young church members even going on missions?
Are you talking about the 18 and 19-year-olds?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's the covenant
mainly
path, right?
I mean, they're just that it's an expectation.
And who put that expectation on them?
The members of the First Presidency, which those dudes have not served a full-time mission, by the way.
Yeah, and so the all the missionaries that are out right now that are serving had a first presidency of people who didn't serve missions, encouraging people to serve missions. And so the covenant path is you serve a mission and you maybe go to BYU, but you for sure get married and have kids, right? That's the covenant path.
Yeah, but also, I mean, there's an incredible amount of societal pressure to serve a mission and
Right.
family pressure as well. So the First Presidency has indoctrinated the membership to put social pressure on their kids to serve missions. And so there's familial pressure, there's, social pressure to do it. And
So what you're saying is Dallin Oaks is saying, I'm inspired that all of the pressure we've been putting on these kids is actually working.
yeah,
He's
Who
actually
was it? What
inspired by
general authority?
himself.
What general authority was it that said, "You do not have a choice anymore. You do not have a choice. You are to serve a full-time mission."
why
So
that
Da-
was Susan's husband,
Susan's husband.
David A. Bednar,
Yeah, yeah.
who said that when you join the church, you basically promise to serve a mission. So
You know what?
that's that.
I hope this doesn't sound like I'm negative, but that is such pure unmitigated bullshit. And that really pisses me off that they would say that young men no longer have a choice. You are
Yeah.
expected to go on a mission. My ass. My
Yeah.
son chose to become a Navy SEAL, or chose to go into the Navy, I should say, and he became a Navy SEAL trainer, actually. And my former mother-in-law called me and said, "Oh, Randy, I'm so sorry. I heard the bad news." And I'm like, "What? What happened?" "Well, your son Randy's not going on a mission." I said, FYI, he is on a mission. He's on a mission to protect your freedom. He's on a mission to make sure that justice is served and that you retain your freedom. So how is that not a mission? But of course, she had no idea of what to say. "Oh, well, I don't know."
But he's not on
Sorry.
a mission for the Lord, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know.
I mean,
It
maybe
just
while
makes
he
me-
was saving lives, he could squeeze in a little bit of, Book of Mormon distribution while he's,
Right, while he's blowing pirates out of the water in Somalia. Just people like that just make me so mad I could push little puppies in the water. They complain about, "Oh, don't use the wrong term. Don't use Mormon. Oh, you're drinking a cup of coffee. There goes your salvation." I've had it just about up to here with that.
That's right. It's all about
I-
control.
Megan, you're muted.
Sorry. When I was a faithful member of the church, Randy, I really believed all of that stuff about salvation and going to the temple and everything. But do you know what? I just really, really loved the smell of coffee so much that I decided to taste it one day. And that was it for me.
That was it. Well,
I left the church because I wanted to sin. That's the bottom line.
yeah, I used to hear people say they weren't ready for the day until they've had their coffee. And I thought, oh, that's silly. That's dumb. Oh, no. Don't even ask me any questions until I get my coffee in my hand. I
Just your
relate to
coffee,
that.
Randy, or your delicious peanut butter coffee?
It's my delicious peanut butter cold brewed coffee that I enjoyed this morning. As a matter of fact, just finished it about 40 minutes ago.
You know what? I also had a delicious cup of coffee this morning before I went. I drove up to the Mormon church, and instead of turning right into the parking lot, I turned left into the parking lot of the Lutheran church and then got paid to go play for their Sunday service.
Nice. Nice.
Basically, Satan worship at this point.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I have a shirt that says, I gave up my eternal salvation for a cup of coffee.
Not just one, though. I think it's important to note you gave up your eternal salvation so that you could drink coffee whenever you want.
Yeah, exactly. I had a dear friend of mine from high school call me up. She's lesbian, and she recently became very ill, and the kind of ill that could be life-ending for her. And while everybody supported her when she was going to the meetings, when she had to stop because she could no longer attend, suddenly the call stopped. No one asked her how she was doing. No one asked where she is. The bishop didn't call. The Relief Society president didn't call. And guess what? She called me, and we chatted for 3 hours yesterday. And it was so wonderful to be able to catch up with her and hear why she attended church up until that point, but to now see that she is kind of seeing the light, you know? I know that sounds like a negative missionary, but I am always pleased when someone has that epiphany that, hey, wait a minute. Maybe this isn't the only one true church of God upon the face of the entire earth.
3 hours? You mean they didn't need to run away to an appointment? You remember when like you could only stay and talk to somebody for like 30 minutes because you had to
that's
pretend that you were busy? I mean,
No,
did that, but I would hear people say that. Oh, we have another appointment. And I'd say, you do? And they'd say, well, not really, but we're not supposed to stay more than that. So,
Well, I mean, this is all in tune
I
with
mean, I
our
brushed my
missionary
teeth and everything,
discussion.
took a shower.
Regarding missionaries and missionary discussions, I explained to her that our purpose, is not to pull people away from the church. I don't think any of us could care any less than we do whether someone wants to be in the church. But what we are trying to do is help those who are on the edge, whose shelf is breaking, who don't know what to do and don't know how they can give up their community. You know, I think what we're doing is we're reaching out a hand to just help them cross over and let them know that there is life on the other side of Mormonism, behind the green apron. Yeah.
I would have been, do you mean Satan's apron, Randy?
Well, yes.
All right. We have 66
Well, Satan tells us to
people
put it on.
watching, only 600 more to go, and we will officially be fighting against the church.
There you go.
Oh, that's right.
I was going to say, you know, when I was having my faith crisis, I would have loved to have a place like this to come on a Sunday afternoon to hear some snark about the church, because it felt really lonely to me. So I hope we are helping people who are in the spaces in between.
Absolutely. I
Tell
was
us where
wanting to
else we
show
can
her.
hear some snark. People
Yeah.
don't know already.
Sure, Megan.
Oh, sorry. What was your comment, Gene? All I heard was snark.
Where else could people go to hear some more Mormon snark if they really like it?
Oh, you could go to the brand new channel, Ex-Mormon Snark, where Kirsten and I hold family night every Monday night live. And and we have family home evening treats every Monday night. And then on Thursdays, we have an episode And we did a live Q&A after our episode last week because we hit 500 subscribers. Woohoo! So if you're not
Yay.
over there yet, go for it.
If I can get serious for just a minute, Megan, I was so devastated and heartbroken to hear about the assault that you endured when you were a little girl standing in line and someone came up and snatched your lunchbox from you, especially when I found out that it was Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Ronald McDonald stole her lunchbox.
Yeah, and hit me across the face with it, that turns out, as well. So yeah, I went to school with a kid named Ronald McDonald, and that was my first day of first grade. So it's a wonder that I ever went back to school after that. But we had a good laugh about it on the Snarkian channel the other day, and it's all for good fun. My lunchbox was never the same after that.
You should do a whole show about it called Assaulted by the Clown.
As a young
And
boy.
then my favorite thing was, actually, I'm going to have to go back and watch it again because I was ruminating about what Ronald McDonald might be doing now and if he still goes by Ronald McDonald. And then the chat came up with some hilarious names that he probably is going by now. So I'm going to have to go back.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, there's
McDonald.
a particular outfit you wear, Megan, and I think those who watch this show will remember that it's white and black stripes. It's a sweater or something you wear.
Yeah,
And every time you wear it, you know what comes to my mind? The Hamburglar.
of course. Yeah.
And I'm thinking maybe you wear that because of your experience with
You know what? That's
Ronnie
very
Mac.
possible. You know, some people have posited that I wear that because it looks like a prison outfit and it's me trying to fit in with my family. But I don't know. It could be psychologically, either one would probably work.
Well, that's why the Hamburglar wears it, because he's a prisoner.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I'd come to think of it, I have 2 black and white striped shirts, so maybe there's something to that. I have one
Yeah,
that's a
be.
hoodie and the other's just a regular shirt.
Do you have any orange jumpsuits?
I don't. In fact, I don't own anything orange. No, that's not true. I have an orange skirt, but yeah, no jumpsuits.
So, Randy, you talked about meeting with a missionary, and I just wanted to know that Michelle told me that during Tuesdays with Tim last week, the missionaries came by, and she was talking to him on the porch while I was doing a podcast,
way.
and they asked, oh, where's Gene? And she goes, oh, well, he's doing a podcast. Oh, what's his podcast about? And she goes, oh, just some ex-Mormon stuff. You guys aren't allowed to listen to it until after your mission.
Oh my gosh. No, tell them to listen to it while they're on their mission so that they have some ammunition, some apologetics ready for the things that us ex-Mormons can't stop complaining about.
That's right. A year ago, missionaries came by and they asked me why I don't go to church. And I go, I'm glad you asked. And let me tell you. So I started telling them. And then one missionary was like taking it like a champ. And the other missionary lip was starting to quiver and was saying, why are you telling us this? And I said, well, first of all, you asked, right? And I'm just, it's all part of the story, all the different things, right? And then I said, and if you think about it, it's a no-lose situation for you. You either do your own research and discover you can't stay in a church that doesn't, according to a rational mind, appear to be truthful about things, and you save yourself hundreds of thousands of dollars of tithing over your lifetime, or you do your own research and you bypass it all, and you still have faith, and your faith remains strong, and you can now tell people the story that you met the great apostate
Gene Judson.
Judson. It's not like I forgot my name, but I didn't want to know if I didn't. And you survived it. I didn't know if people will know 10 years from now that Gene Judson is anybody. I don't know, right? But, you'll be able to have this survival story. So you can't lose. You either save hundreds of thousands of dollars in tithing, or you have a great mission story that you survived. Somebody's talking about anti-Mormon things, right? And so it's nothing but beneficial to talk to people that are out of the church, who have been labeled apostate, and to avoid. You should only not.
Well, he may think that you're the Antichrist now.
Right. And like we could say, just like the anti-Nephites, we favor the good teachings of Christ. If,
Yeah,
if
'cause
Christ
back
said
then
something, said be nice to people, I'm in favor of that. And so, like
Yeah,
So,
good
Megan,
Samaritan-
I have to ask,
Yeah.
are you doing laundry? Is your dishwasher going, or a fan? Is something going?
I don't have anything going. When I mute, does it get quieter like that? Like there's something on?
Yeah, like there's, yeah, and it stopped a minute ago. Now it's stopped. Now it's going.
That's because
So I heard some. Every time I hear something, I assume it's Randy's on Randy's.
Yeah, he always thinks it's me and mutes my mic. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's not me.
Let me practice. I'll mute
How
your
about
mic
now?
again.
Now you can't hear it.
It's definitely my air conditioning.
Oh,
Gotcha. Well,
Because-
that's important. We don't want you to get
could have
hot.
been the spirit.
Yeah, I mean, I woke up this morning and it was a beautiful, glorious 65 degrees outside. And I thought, this is an amazing day. And then I went to Costco and I got back in my car and it was like 92 degrees. So yes, my air conditioning is still running at the end of October.
So I'll have to say we haven't ruled it out. This question on the bottom of the screen. Have we actually ruled Gene out as the Antichrist?
I mean, it's kind of hard to know for sure.
It's hard to prove a
no
negative,
way.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, he does look a little satanic since he's grown his beard. I'm just saying.
I mean, if he would stop shaving the horns down, that would probably help as well.
Yeah.
It's tender up there every now and then. It's
So-
because I keep on bumping into cupboard doors. You ever hit cupboard doors? Because why look up? We're old. Why? And you just like a cupboard door's open, you just like bang into it. But
I'm
anyway,
not tall enough for that.
There you go.
So am I the only one that thinks that's ridiculous that one mission president to every 163 missionaries? Doesn't that seem a little bit excessive? Now, granted, there are senior missionaries and service missionaries and, medical missionaries and stuff like that. But I don't know what their relationship is with the full-time missionary mission president. But
Maybe,
I just think
actually, maybe Randy, you're onto something. Maybe mission presidents are complaining that they're trying to micromanage too many people's lives, and people are having more mental health issues, more problems with the internet, more problems
Yeah.
with temptations.
Let's look
And
at
it's
the
just-
bright side. Yeah.
Just like the teachers, right? When I was young, our classes were like 40 kids. Of course, I was like at the fat part of the baby boom. And there was a time where my grade got split up into two classes when I was going to a smaller school. And the other grades were just one classroom per. But anyhow, maybe there needed to be a reduction in the number of missionaries underneath each mission president.
Well, I hope that is the case, because I do think that with, as young as these, men and women are coming out at 18, 19 years old, they do need more guidance and supervision and understanding and one-on-one time and all of that. So I think it's a good thing. I suspect that the reason is because there is a dwindling number of missionaries coming out. But regardless of what the reason is, I think that fewer missionaries per mission president is a good thing. And I think, Randy, to your point, that the senior missionaries that are out, generally speaking, they help the mission president to oversee all of those missionaries and make sure that they get what they need most of the time. That's my understanding, at least.
I guess
You're like-
what rubs me a little wrong is how often have you heard them announce how many new missions are coming up?
Yeah, that was my point too. And I think because there was such a letdown by Dallin Oak saying, "Hey everybody, guess what? No temples announced." They were scrambling. They're probably getting feedback was percolating up saying, "Oh no, the church isn't true anymore because we're not growing with temples." Like, what other thing can we grow? Hey, we've been talking about the number of missions going up. Let's just announce it. Let's announce it 3 months before we even start doing it and give people something to talk about, because the Jesus is coming talks are out there and they're doing good, but there was nothing like the temple announcements to keep people awake during conference.
Yeah, we have to
Right.
have something to keep people engaged. So from a media perspective, it's a really smart move. When you announce something that is discouraging, like no new temples, and people are like, oh, I had my fingers crossed. You know what it's like before they build a new temple. There's always like rumors, right? One of the apostles will come and visit, and maybe they were with a stake president, maybe looking at some land, and people get all excited. And they also know that every time they announce a new temple, tithing donations go up and temple donations go up. And so part of that is like, give us more money so we can build a temple in your area. So there are probably a lot of people out there a little disillusioned about there not being any new temples. And so from a PR standpoint, this is a great move for them to say, you know what, no new temples. However, an astounding 55 new missions, except the same geographical area. Don't tell anyone.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not like they're growing land, you know.
Right. Well, I mean, they
Yeah.
are buying as much land as they possibly can.
It's like, the church could all of a sudden have 17 million new wards if they just had one member in each ward. They could just
Well, they
divide them
couldn't,
up.
Gene, because they don't actually have 17 million
Well, you would
members.
have 10 million whole wards that are totally inactive.
Right. Can I share the screen 1 second? Just because
Yes.
I was prompted by the Holy Ghost to share the screen while you were talking.
Yeah, because you
Gene.
saw that Randy and I each have something queued up, and so you wanted to.
Right.
That's weird. The Holy Ghost just prompted me too, so
Yeah.
I threw something up there.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Dang.
these things are backstage, and people are going to see what we have backstage for them pretty soon.
It's that orange orb floating around in my driveway.
That's
Oh, you're
right.
going to show that? You're going to prove that to
Yeah,
Tim?
Well,
so
no, I'll show that later in the show.
Right, but I mean,
So when Randy read that headline that said the Church of Jesus Christ announces 55 new missions, I did a quick Google search. Where is the Church of Jesus Christ? Well, what came up are all of these little red crosses on the map, which are Mormon churches.
That's
The
right.
temple, you'll notice the temple is the only one that still has the Moroni, and the rest of them are crosses. And then if you go down, the church has already started to do their job on Google, which, by the way, you can pay for Google for placement to come up sooner in the Google searches. Did you guys know that? Yeah, totally can. So people also ask, which church is the Church of Jesus Christ? The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, informally known as the LDS Church or Mormon Church, is a non-Trinitarian restorationist Christian denomination and the largest denomination in the Latter-day Saint movement.
they could have
Wow.
said informally known as the Mormon Church, but that is only a victory for Satan.
Yeah.
Well, what if you typed in the house of the Lord? Would it be the temples that pop up?
It's Chick-fil-A owned by the Mormon Church. Sorry, that just caught my eye. Who's the billionaire apostle? No current apostle. That's not true. Gary Stevenson is. Yeah, all that comes up is Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So now, yeah, I'll look up. What did you want me to look? Well, the house of the Lord.
Well, the house of the Lord, because we're not supposed to call them temples anymore.
Where is the house of the Lord?
Well,
Or
whatever
just
you
house
typed
of the
in to
Lord?
get, whatever you typed in to get whatever you typed in to show all the
Okay.
Mormon churches, because you typed
Yeah.
in Church of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, here the Mormons have not taken over this Google search yet.
Mm.
So there is some, but let me just remove the where is.
Susan's husband has some work cut out for him.
Oh, that's right. Or the strengthening
Hopefully he's
church
watching
members.
the show and he can
House of the
jot a
Lord.
little note down.
Well, they haven't commandeered this one yet either, so they do have some work to do. How about
Maybe, Randy, you could start a punk rock group for sexagenarians called the House of the Lord, and you can co-opt the church's use of it.
Now, see, that's a brilliant idea. I sure as heck could do that.
So I don't know if you guys have heard about wheatandtares.org, but it is a website that is friendly to the church. And when you look up temporary commandments, it talks all about that.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah,
How
I was-
richly bizarre.
I thought as long as we were Googling new things like the new InSpeak, we might as well talk about temporary commandments for a minute.
yeah, so that is good. And we can actually get to my thing because part of temporary commandments is almost like temporary scriptures, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And if you would take your one down and I can add this to the stage, minor adjustments have been made to select study helps in Doctrine and Covenants. So that not the scriptures, but the things above it, above each section of the Doctrine and Covenants they've changed some of the words. Were you aware of this, Megan?
I was aware of it when you posted it in the chat yesterday.
Yeah, okay.
I became aware of it.
Yeah. So it says
Yeah.
most changes reflect recent research from the Joseph Smith Papers Project. And so the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the full name, has made minor adjustments to introductions to two of the church's four canonized scriptures, the Doctrine and Covenant and the Book of Mormon. So I wonder what introductions to the Book of Mormon changed because of the
Well, they
Joseph
do,
Smith Papers Project.
yeah, they do list them in that article that you shared at the very bottom, I think, is the full list of everything that they changed.
Maybe a click through.
Oh, maybe they took it down because I have to tell you, I looked it up and I was like, oh, good for them. They're actually being transparent about what they changed. Maybe not. Let me see if I can find it again.
There's a detailed
Oh,
summary.
detailed summary, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
so
so they did put it in there.
so yeah, you have to link. It's a link through because that's just an article just generally explaining
Right.
it.
It
before that.
was, I'm going to represent to you that it was at the bottom of the article when I first clicked on it, and now it's a footnote that you have to click through to.
Make you work
So,
for it.
yeah, they were like, yeah, we don't want to just put this out there, and people read it and go, wait, what?
I'm looking
So
to
there
see. Go
There
ahead.
was, there was one on there that really
Was striking.
was striking to me, and I wanted to look something up and just ran out of time.
Do you remember? Was it the Doctrine and Covenants or Book of Mormon?
Well, it was Doctrine and Covenants, and it made me want to look and see what is that section of the Doctrine and Covenants.
What could it be?
While you're looking for that, I'm going to read this one thing. Adjustments to the Book of Mormon summaries. It says preceding 3 Nephi 11 changed comprising chapters 11 through 26 to beginning with chapter 11. And then it says, this reflects the fact that Jesus continued to minister to the people of Nephi after 3 Nephi 26. Even though it's a fact that is only contained, the only evidence of it is in the Book of Mormon. There's no linguistic evidence. There's no archaeological evidence that Jesus factually was in America. But yeah, that's an interesting change.
Another one that caught my eye is section 108, where the old wording was a 70, and the new wording is one of the 7 presents of the 70. I'm not sure why that one stood out to me, but it's like, I don't know, I guess the ones where they're getting it, there's a difference between the ones where they're getting more specific and the ones where they're getting less specific, and that's what was interesting to me. I was trying to figure that out. Like, for example, section 116, where it says it was May 19th, 1838, they got less specific and changed it to May or June 1838. That's the one about Adamondiaman being announced. So anyway, I don't know. I don't know that there's, I don't know enough. Let me rephrase that. My Mormon brain cells have died enough that nothing on here I can look at and say, aha, they're changing that for that reason. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I would have to go and look at all of them, and guess what? I just don't want to.
Yeah, but they are changing a little bit, right? We talked about
Yeah.
temporary commandments, and then there's, because it could be foreshadowing that they take out section 132 someday, right? They
Yeah.
decanonize something because they
Yeah.
took stuff out in 1921. They took out the lectures on faith, which actually used to be the doctrine, and then the revelations were the covenants.
Right.
So that it's really just the book of covenants now that we have, but
Right.
people don't know it.
Yeah. Also, I remember when they took out the lectures on faith because I was a ward missionary at the time. And the member who was kind of over the ward missionaries got us each a copy of the lectures on faith and had us use that as part of our teaching to new members when we were doing new member lessons.
Wow. Are you thinking of something else? Because you weren't a missionary in 1921, were you?
I was a ward missionary.
In
And was it
1921?
21 or
No, no.
22?
Oh, was it 21 that they took them out of the scriptures?
1921, 104 years ago. They
Huh,
took
for some reason.
the lectures
why-
on faith out. I wonder what you're referring to. Could be something else that they took out.
No, it was definitely the lectures on faith, but I guess maybe I mistakenly thought that they were part of my scriptures prior to that. And
Huh.
they weren't actually. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember knowing that the lectures on faith occurred, and I remember reading them and thinking, this is pretty good. And part of the lectures on faith talked about how nothing happens unless you have faith. Like, unless you have faith that the Safeway down the street is open, you're not going to go to the Safeway down the street to buy something, right?
Yeah.
Or faith that you're going to, go there and come back safely, right? Even though it doesn't always happen, but it reminds me of when I took a marketing class. They said nothing happens until somebody sells something, and that actually goes to every child is born an atheist. That children are born without a belief in anything,
Yeah.
and they enter into the belief stage when people tell them about the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, Santa Claus, and what else maybe?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Don't be
That-
lessening my belief in some of these things, Gene.
They're all one and the same, Randy. Believe it or not.
Ugh.
You can't deconstruct Christ.
Wait. Gene, are you saying that there is one dude who goes around and dresses up like a leprechaun every March 17th, and then goes and dresses up like the Easter Bunny every Easter, and then goes and dresses up like Uncle Sam on the 4th of July, and then goes and dresses up like the Great Pumpkin at Halloween time, and then goes and dresses up as a turkey in Thanksgiving, and then dresses up as Santa Claus in December? Are you saying that that's all the same guy?
That's what I'm getting at, Megan.
Is that what it sounded like I was saying? But
Sounds like you're a
there are jobs like that, and there could be a
joy
union.
killer.
So
And
disappointing.
yes, and it's not the same person that does it. It's actually a team effort to
Okay.
pull the
So
wool over our eyes.
It still could be real leprechauns and real bunnies and real pumpkins. It's just that there's a union of these magical creatures.
Some sort of organization.
right? Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
That's right.
So,
Yeah, I just wanted to address this comment by E.A. Thompson because I was really upset when they changed the introduction to the Book of Mormon to say, instead of to say that the Lamanites were the descendants, that the Native
Principal.
Americans were principal descendants, and then they said among the descendants, and then they changed it, they took that out entirely, right?
Yeah, I don't even know what it says now.
I don't think it says anything about Native people now.
well, how rich is that, since that's one of the main components of the Book of Mormon?
It was just a temporary thing for us to believe. We don't have to believe that
Yeah.
anymore.
Right. And again, we can also say, since EA is an archaeologist, there's also no archaeological evidence that the Book of Mormon people ever existed. So, there's
Yeah,
that.
like that Sandra Tanner, when she was still running the Lighthouse Ministries, had plaques on the wall featuring coins from the old Roman age that were in existence during Christ's time. And then there's another plaque that said, here's the coins from the Book of Mormon, and it's all empty. So like names things, but but she had actual coins or replicas of some of the coins circa Jesus Christ's time, and
Well-
zero. We don't even have artistic representations of them.
Well, Gene, you have to take into the account that if God doesn't want us finding those things, there's an angel that will make them sink further into the earth. That's
right.
documented by Joseph Smith. So,
Right.
sometimes I think you're taking this rather lighthearted. They're just sinking further into the earth. That's why we can't find bones or any artifacts of the Lamanites that existed where Joseph said they did.
Yeah, because if there was archaeological evidence, then we wouldn't need to have faith.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so peculiar that there's some things that God says, yeah, you can't have those things. But when Aunt Mabel said that she saw Uncle John's dead spirit in the temple, that's a fact,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
some things apparently God says, okay, you can have some more info on this,
Yeah.
or
yeah.
or we're only going to tell 15 old men in Salt Lake what's really going on, because it's a lot of work if you're God to try to tell everybody. So if you could just tell 15 people everything that needs to be done and let them have the job of spreading it throughout the whole world,
Right.
it
Yeah.
just makes, maybe there's a God union, and that's one of the union rules, is you can't just go around telling everybody.
Kiki, obviously you haven't seen Indiana Jones. The Ark of the Covenant, it shows on that movie that they are stored in a government warehouse. So watch that movie and then make that comment. I saw it. It's actual footage.
Yeah, so these government warehouses that are storing all the things that people that would prove aliens or prove whatever, it's sort of like once you die and you'll learn about the truths that you're questioning while on earth. It's that same catch-all.
Yeah. Yeah, true. So, and by the way, I just want to tell you that once we finish our scripture heading discussion, I have a follow-up from one of our previous shows. So I don't want
let's
to.
do that.
I don't want to
I'm
introduce
done
that
with the
too
scriptures.
soon. Are you?
I'm done
Okay,
with
we
them too.
talked a little bit about church security, and that maybe we should place guardians at each door to make sure that no one comes in. Apparently, we weren't the only people that came up with this idea, because, hang on, can you see that? Yeah, okay. So they were obviously listening to our show, and it says, after a deadly attack on Michigan Meeting House, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints issued safety guidelines reaffirming that ensuring worshipers feel welcome and safe in sacred spaces, and that remains top priority. Included on the list to local lay leaders was the following: the guidance of the Spirit in implementing established policies which bars firearms on church property, save those carried by law enforcement. In the wake of the September 28th tragedy, conservative pockets of social media erupted with criticism from self-identified members arguing that this policy made worshipers more vulnerable to attack. And it just goes on to say that the church has received revelation from God that not be the case. And so I maintain my theory that they're not so concerned about the welfare of the saints. You know, hey, if there happens to be some cops around, yeah, good thing, but we're not going to put anyone with guns there because we want to make sure people don't get the wrong idea and don't fear that their safety is in jeopardy, when in fact it could be.
Maybe the church will institute safety protocols by telling everybody to stay at their house.
Well, that would be a little dream come true. How's the pie coming, Megan?
You know what? It's almost done. Yep. Smells a little like fake blueberries is what it smells like.
Is there another image to share down there?
It just,
Yeah, that's something Tim wanted to see.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
go ahead and show
Okay.
that for fun.
well, I don't know. I wanted to hear you guys' opinions about that idea about church
Thus-
safety.
Well, I personally, having been in law enforcement, I would like to see something implemented, whether it's locks, like we talked about, that a remote button can be pushed by those who are watching the doors. If they see anyone suspicious coming up, just lock the doors.
Oh, I thought you were talking about, having bagels and lox at every church building, which I think would be fantastic.
Well, that would be nice if they served those with the coffee. Yeah,
Right. Exactly.
but
It is a
especially
restoration.
too-
They probably had Jesus probably served lox at some of his parties he went to.
Well, they should accommodate our Jewish brothers and sisters who are attending meetings. So, yeah, I'm all for that. But no, I think basically what the church is going to do is kind of like, yeah, we can afford a slaughter here and there, but we're not going to implement safety security measures. I just don't expect to see them do a dang thing. And I'm not surprised, but they should do something. Even, like I said, even if it's not guns, make some freaking locks, make the doors lock. It's not that expensive to implement that in each building where you push a button, all the doors lock up. The members in their worship service don't even have to know. They don't even have to know.
Yeah.
The locks are hit and the guardian at the door can just, look at the person and what do you want, and then if he starts beating on it with a rock or something, sure, call the police. But
Yeah, they could literally have, they could assign somebody to sit out in the foyer and, read their scriptures while they're listening to sacrament meeting, because we all know that they have it wired so you can hear it out there for the people who have to go out in the hallway with their unruly babies.
right.
That was just a joke, everybody. But yeah, they could spend the money to do that. I always fight with myself about it a little bit because my brother was in the military. He was in special forces. And he always said to me, when Texas opened up and let everybody open carry, he said that he was always going to concealed carry because if something happened, he wanted to have his weapon and not have it be the 65-year-old lady who's only shot her pea shooter twice in her life. You know, he wanted to be the one to be able to help rather than leaving it to people who are not trained, because he's trained. So I think that members who are former law enforcement or current law enforcement or whatever should be able to, you know, carry their weapons, because those are the people we want to have weapons if we're going to live in a country that just openly allows people to carry guns.
Yeah, but unless
My
they're
opinion.
active law enforcement, the church has banned it. And you know what? I agree with that. I believe in carrying a weapon. Because you can save lives if you have one. You can prevent catastrophes from happening, like Michigan. But you know, the church obviously feels differently. But I'm going to say it one
Well-
more time. Lock all the doors except for the two main entrances on each side of the chapel when the meetings start.
Yep.
And then once the meeting has begun and people have come in, go ahead and click the remotes for those doors to lock too. And if a family shows up late, you're right there to let them in.
Yeah.
But if a bad
Exactly.
guy shows up, he's not coming in.
Yep.
So in a way, my idea is similar to yours, Randy. My idea is lock the doors and don't let anybody in ever.
That's a
That's
great
just one
idea.
time. You lock the doors one time, and that's it. You sell the
And
property.
you change the sign outside to say no one is welcome rather than
Nobody
visitors
welcome here.
All those on Mormon Standard Time are out of luck. They will be locked out.
Yeah. So Trevor Larson has a decent idea. Why, you know, maybe they should ask God for a magical piece of cloth that could make them immune from bullets, and then they could make underwear out of it, and then everybody could wear it, and then they would be automatically protected from bullets.
Yeah, what
And
could
maybe
we
they
call
make a
those?
bigger. They can make a bigger cloth and have it around the building so that no truck could drive through it.
Oh, there you go. It could be called the garment of the
Holy building.
holy building. It could be called the garment of the house of the Lord, the garment of the Lord, the garment of the house of the Lord. That's what they could call it.
Jesus
Or a
is
chapel condom. Where they just wrap it over the chapel and nothing gets in or out.
Yeah, protection. In fact, most spires look like something that could use a condom.
Along
Well,
with the
Gene, that's
chandeliers.
nasty. Yeah.
Anyway,
So I have to get my mind off the rooftops of church buildings.
you know, I never would have been able to sneak out for third-hour tacos if the doors were all locked. So
So you can
Well-
learn life skills.
Well, now wait a minute. Those doors do open, all of them, from the inside. There's, you know,
gotcha.
those.
Well, but I
Those
wouldn't be able
locks
to come
are-
back in and pretend like I'd been there the whole time. That'd be
Right.
the problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Happy
Yeah,
birthday,
with
by
me,
the
it was-
way, E.A. Thompson.
With me, it was 7-Eleven right near our church, and we'd get burritos on Fast Sunday and go eat them in the back of 7-Eleven till my dad caught me.
Nice.
But yeah, anyway, so I shudder to think, and I'm telling you, I know there's copycat criminals, and I know that, you know, maybe some of you saw the car that crashed into a building in the Salt Lake area, and I sent that right off to Megan Hayes on Generally Quotable because she does the news every morning, and she did put it on her newscast. Maybe not because I sent it to her, but
That was a drunk driver, turned out.
yep. Nevertheless, had they had those things in place, like I said, I can't remember what
Right.
they're called, but you know, like the Target balls that sit in front of there so people can't drive through the store. There's just some simple measures to take, folks. Come on.
They could put
and,
little statues of the angel Moroni in front of the doors, like 4 of them, or maybe 7, since that's a magic number. You know,
Right. Yeah.
they could
Exactly.
have rebar inside.
Or
of it.
oxen the big oxen from the fonts is all
Yes.
around
We
guarding.
should do
They-
12,
they could
12 oxen
repurpose-
around.
They could repurpose the oxen from the temples that they're going to
That's right.
have to be selling pretty soon because there's no
I
one
don't,
going to
I don't
be.
think they'll sell
filling
them.
them.
They're too good of a tax shelter. And so I predict what's going to happen is they'll have more temples than they have general authorities, and maybe each of them will just get to live in one.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah, because Walt Disney built an apartment at the top of the Magic Kingdom castle, Cinderella's castle.
Yeah,
By the way, I've been in that apartment many, many times.
yeah.
So why not have the general authorities each have a special apartment in the temples?
Yeah.
Don't
Maybe,
they have something like that for Jesus? Because it's his house.
I like
Yeah, it
the
is the house of the Lord.
Yeah, they have to have a room for Jesus in every temple.
So I
like
wonder if
this
pretty
idea.
soon they're going to, oh yeah, go ahead, do that idea.
Yeah, they could use curlams as temple guardians. But what about the curlamams? Are they not?
Curlums and curlum.
Also-
Yeah.
What the hell is a
Mums.
curlum?
Cumums and
One-
curlums.
Randy, you haven't read your Book of Mormon. They
Well,
had
not
curlams
recently.
and curlamams in the Book of Mormon, and they were some of the animals that were in there.
Curlums were an animal and their mothers are curlamoms.
No.
We don't know about the relationships
have-
between the two.
We don't have any actual photographs of the animals or any bones of any of these animals. So for all we know, they could just be like deer or something.
Oh, a deer.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Yeah, and by the way, everyone's saying Randy didn't read the Book of Mormon. I'll bet you if you walked up to, just pick out 100 members of the church and said, "What's a curlam?" They'll say, "Hell if I know."
There you go. Somebody looked them up.
I thought I remembered it being something like a camel, but I just couldn't, I didn't know that for sure, so I didn't want to show my ignorance by opening my mouth.
So, if any of you have ever watched any of the ghost hunting type shows, they've caught some amazing things, some amazing footage. And before every major event, you'll see, I shouldn't say every, because sometimes they don't show up, but most of the time, before a chair scoots across the kitchen or cabinet slam closed, you'll see orbs that are floating down. Not specks of dust. I'm not talking about when someone
Or bugs.
ruffles a blanket. I'm talking about a specific orb that'll come down. I've had very many experiences, my son Garrett and I, seeing those. And sometimes they're different colors. I did a photo session in the underground of Seattle, Washington, because they have a whole, they had to start over and build the city above the buildings that were underground because it was sinking, as many coastal towns do. And while I was under there, I took several photographs, and these orbs were abundant, and you could blow them up, open the photograph and expand and enlarge, and you could see faces in there. One was a set of twins in this orb. It's amazing. I mean, this is stuff that I've seen with my two eyes, and I've seen them over and over again, even in my own home, as I video a lot of times. And when I say orbs, I don't mean, like I said, something that can, zip around or float randomly like dust. I'm talking about ones with a specific target and purpose. So my camera notified me of something in my driveway. I was just about to get to sleep, and I opened it up, and I'll be damned if I didn't see an orange orb that was slowly floating down, resting on my driveway or in my garage. I don't know which. And no, that's not it, Gene. But for a minute, I thought it was.
That
That looked
is
like a
Cheeto.
random Cheeto. Yeah. But before anyone says, "Oh well, it's water dripping down the camera lens or something. My cameras aren't where water can get on them. They're up underneath the eaves. So anyway, just for chuckles and grins, since it's Halloween coming up, I'm going to show you this and let you take a look at what I saw in my camera. Yes, I am. I'm going to put that up there. And where in the hell's the little thing I push? Why is it not showing up? I'm kind of freaking out, guys. Talk amongst yourselves because
sounds like it looks like a blue orb to me.
okay, yeah, actually that's not it.
Oh.
But why isn't it not letting me switch over and hit play?
Is it on a different screen than the one that you're looking at?
It's in my image file.
So I think you have to actually go to the image file and click there.
Okay, I'll do that. Yep, right now I'm going to do that. Oh man, I hate it when people are waiting and I know, it's like I'm freaking out. Don't play the music from Jeopardy, whatever you do.
People are talking about Kiki's channel, Casual Advice, and they showed a link to her channel. And I'll just say that I ran an interview yesterday, and Randy ran it early. No, Randy hasn't ran it. It's just me. But anyway, I ran a show with Kiki, and I'm putting it in all our things. And I encourage everybody to watch the show. It's Kiki giving advice.
Yeah.
On finances.
And she's great at it, by the way. She's very smart, and you should definitely pay attention to what she says because she knows what the heck she's talking about.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
She's not just another pretty face. She actually is very intelligent.
She knows
and,
stuff.
Okay, let's see.
Maybe we need to do a fundraiser to up Randy's internet speed or electricity or something.
Or Randy, can you text it to me and then see if I can put it up that way?
Yes, thank you. I will do that because it's up and running, but not obviously. Okay, I'm going to remove this here and I will text it to you real quick, Megan.
Technical issues are not my favorite.
Oh, I hate that.
I've been dealing with camera issues for the last couple of days. I don't know what's going on.
Do you want me to text it to you or messenger it to you?
Please text it to me.
You got it.
Because my magical iPhone is compatible with my magical computer.
And our show, if you're learning about something that's newsy on our show, then you really need to watch other news programs too. And we recommend the Mormon newscast and the daily news from Megan Hayes and Rebecca Biblioteca does a lot of things. We're commenting on things that are in the news, right? And so we also invite people to comment and come on the show and give us your thoughts. So I've also included a link to come on the show so that you can talk about what you want to comment on about the news. And so
I sure hope that what I sent Megan isn't some of my home
Cornography. That's the study of the evolution of corn.
You'd think I'd be good with electronics with my last name being Watts.
You would think so.
Apparently not.
It's a very powerful name.
All right. Now let me see if I can share this. I guess I can do it this way.
Yeah. Dun 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 dun. Here we go. Watch carefully.
Oh.
That is an orb.
There it is. I see it.
What the hell is that? Nothing's moving on the outside. Nothing's moving around. no camera reflecting anything except for the light that's there, and this thing shows up.
You know, I would say that it was some kind of I don't know,
Optical.
optical thing, except that it moves in a non-patterned way.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
I'm going to play it again.
It does make sense.
So it keeps moving back and forth
Yep.
in a non-predictable pattern.
And the garage,
been-
by the way,
Could have been Linda.
With a guy.
the garage is where I saw the previous owner of the home, who was dead, as I began to unpack all our things when we moved in the house. And he was standing up on the stoop watching me. And when I turned to look at him and speak, I spoke to him, but he went away instantly. And I know I've shared that story on your channel, Megan, but interesting.
You need to straighten out the camera a little bit so that the neighborhood's not tilted. I was watching it kind of like this.
What does that even mean? Well, the neighborhood is not tilted.
You didn't
Or
notice?
is it? How do you know I don't live on a hill? Oh, because you've been to my house. Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's just Randy that's crooked.
Yeah,
I don't know if this is the right way or
it's
the right
for
way of saying it.
optimal recording.
It's kind of like the hip camera angles that they use on the new talk shows and stuff when they're asking people in the public questions.
Yeah.
They move around and stuff.
Yeah.
Man,
I was
did you ever
giving-
watch a movie from the 70s and you just can't believe how long it takes them to do some exposition, or they show like the guy walking out the door and walking all the way to the car, where now it's cut, out the door, into the car, boom, 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 boom. In the 70s, it was all like roll a film.
We had, I worked at a place called Le Studio in Mesa, Arizona. It's a hair place and they do other services. I had a massage office there
That's the
because
lay
that was
part.
always a side gig of mine. And I kept the room very dim. I had candles going. And one of the workers there, who's a real sweetheart, she wanted a massage and I would trade massages for haircuts. And she was on the table and of course her back was exposed. And as I'm working her back in this dim room, I saw this flash of blue in a shape at the bottom of her back. And, I didn't say anything because she's all relaxed and loving it. And I worked my way back up, and it was just right at the base of her back before her butt started. And it was in some shape and I couldn't figure that out. So anyway, after I wrapped up the massage and we were visiting afterwards, I said, I have a question for you. I keep the room dim, as you know, but there was a flash of blue from the bottom of your back, like the shape of, I know this sounds stupid, but like the shape of an angel. And her jaw dropped and she said, oh my gosh. And she stood up and of course now the lights were on and she pulled her shirt up a little and showed me on her back this tattoo of an angel, a baby with angel wings. She had lost her baby to drowning. And so she had that tattoo on there. And we had someone who was a spirit ghostologist, I think is what he called himself. And we went right out and said, what does blue mean, indicating, spirit experiences? What is blue light? He says, oh, blue light is when a spirit's trying to communicate that they are happy and they're okay where they are. So, just a little.
For me growing up, the blue light meant something was on sale at Kmart.
Right. But I know that these experiences, are hard to believe, and I don't blame people if they don't believe them. Most of what I say comes with receipts, but you're just going to have to take my word for it on this kind of stuff. I think the little baby was, Megan, you're on mute. No, I give the crazy sign. You're crazy.
You're crazy.
You're just crazy.
I just thought it was funny that Trevor Larson said, "Did she pepper spray you?"
So, you know, there's another news story that was reported by Megan Hayes. And I'm thinking maybe next week we could try to do it. It's that there are people in the church that are giving firesides. They're like GAs, 70s or whatever. And they're giving subtle hints that somebody's coming. And that they're not talking about Santa Claus.
You
And
better watch out.
and it's like, it's just like when they would tell us when we were kids that we were going to prepare the way for Jesus' second coming, right? They're doing it. They're doing these things. It's like a concerted effort to try to get people to think that Jesus is coming soon. And I think we should sort of do an expose as a Salt Lake Expositor on how, in a way, they're just trying to be manipulative.
Well, they used to just come out and tell us Jesus is coming soon. They used to just
Yeah.
come out and say it. And in fact, my grandfather, who passed away in 1985, in his patriarchal blessing, it said that he would live to see the Savior. So they used to just be really open and blunt about the fact that Jesus was coming at any day now. And there's actually, believe it or not, a faction in the church that believes that Jesus and Joseph Smith have already arrived and that they're already doing stuff. We just don't know about it yet. Like the
They're
main,
driving cars
people
into
don't
church
know.
buildings.
I don't think that was,
I was in a fireside as a deacon when some general authority, and hell if I know who it was, someone in the 70s or something, gave us this fireside for young men in the priesthood, and we were told as deacons that we would live to see the second coming of Christ. And I'm kind of getting up there in age. I'm not nearly, as old as Gene is, but I'm getting up there, and still I have not yet seen the second coming of Jesus Christ. And I missed the frickin' rapture, so I'm beginning to think he might not have been telling the truth.
Trevor's
almost-
telling the truth.
it's almost like this Christianity stuff doesn't even work.
I know, right?
I'm just kidding.
I see what you're doing, by the way, Megan.
What?
I see that you're putting your thing on mute, and then you unmute it when you speak, and then you mute it again because I made you self-conscious about your air conditioning. Don't worry about it. It's not that distracting. I want you to not have to worry about that.
I was actually worried about my child who is unloading the dishwasher, not 50 feet away from me. So I just, didn't want everybody to hear clanking and clinging like I was in a restaurant or something.
Once it gets the
Yeah.
silverware done, it really reduces the clinking and clanging.
That's so true. We don't use
Plus we
silverware
could-
here. We just eat with our hands.
That's right. It's a testament
That
that you
was a
guys do
joke.
use silverware.
Yeah, that we do use silverware, and we do in fact wash our dishes. So
There you go.
I would love to do that expositor show you're talking about, Gene, about just kind of we can each take a little bit of history of when the church has proclaimed that Jesus Christ is coming. I think that'd be a great show. And I think
right.
that the other half of that show should be, we always talk about who can make it into heaven, who qualifies to make it into the top degree of the celestial kingdom. I'd like to make a list of those who do not qualify to get to the top degree of the celestial kingdom. And I'd
Great
like to
long
make
list.
that, I'd like to make that my part of who doesn't qualify. I will make a list because I'm thinking that there's only 1.111.1% of 1% that would qualify to make the top degree of the celestial kingdom. And the three of us, we're going to be partying in the terrestrial kingdom.
TK smoothie for all of us. You
I know.
need to stop announcing all of our ideas on this show because, Tim wants to take them all for his own show, and that's just not fair.
I know. Damn it, Tim.
We
Yeah.
can do it on both shows because since we're old, we'll forget what we said from one show to the next.
Well, this Tuesday is our Halloween show on Tuesdays with Tim, our Halloween experiences. And I did promise to introduce Clarence to the crowd. So I'll be doing that as well.
There you go.
Clarence
Do you ever
Thomas
remember?
is going to be a guest on our show?
Just a short, brief guest appearance, yeah.
His name really Clarence Thomas?
No. Okay, I'm not even going to say what I was going to say. But trust me, it was really cute. Funny, hilarious.
I bet it was.
Racist, yeah.
You can say it in the after show because I have something I need to say in the after show also.
Okay.
Great. Yeah. Do you remember when you first heard that Halloween came from All Hallows Eve?
Yeah, that's kind of the history of it. Yes.
And just it like meant something different. Candy didn't taste as sweet anymore after that, after I heard what it was named after. Because Halloween just sounds like it was a word that Adam said. Like Halloween, let that be a day of candy for kids. Just when he was naming the animals, Adam and Eve,
That's why they couldn't have any more kids, Gene, is because he had a Halloweenie.
Fire and
with
blanks.
that, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to call for an end to the show.
There you go.
It's just going to devolve from here.
So thanks everybody for watching. I had a thought. I wonder if they're going to start announcing the new missions in conference, just like they were announcing new temples. And that would be Dallin Oaks's shtick, whatever. That he gets to announce that. And then when he dies 25 years from now at 110 or whatever, 120.
Well, how often do you hear the members of the church say, Dallin Oaks came to be prophet at this time because these are the days when we most need him because he's an attorney. And with what's going on in the world today, we need that attorney at the head of the church. You know what? Whatever. There's been, it's just like, yeah, the pandemic happened to hit when Russell Nelson was prophet, but I don't think he handled pandemics. I think it was a heart surgeon. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that that it's got absolutely nothing to frickin' do with what they do for a living. But that's what the apologists say.
Randy, again, I'm going to call you out for not reading your scriptures because you don't remember the part in the Bible where Jesus said, in the last days, I'm going to need many attorneys, yea, and many bank accounts, yea, and many investment advisors, and of all of the accounts, there shall be many, and they shall multiply and replenish my church.
Well, I think those things were in the original scriptures, but they got changed. Remember the old monks? They didn't know what those things were, and so they changed them out. They swapped them out.
They got lost in translation.
There's no.
But the last days is when men's hearts shall fail them. That's when we needed.
That's when we needed
a heart surgeon as a prophet.
But he
died. He didn't save one heart that I'm aware of as prophet.
So, do you think that Rusty died because he was leading the church astray, and God would never let the prophet lead the church astray?
It's the only way prophets die.
Right? I wondered what he died from. They never announced the illness.
He died from offending
Temple-itis.
the Lord.
Well, I'm
Steeple
getting all
envy.
emotional now.
Yea, and ye shall each buy a white tent, and ye shall stockpile ammunition and fuel, and ye shall have toothpicks for 365 days.
And Captain Crunch falling from the sky as manna from heaven.
That'd be so cool. I love Captain Crunch.
I do too. I'm telling you, I had a personal revelation that that's what manna was Captain Crunch cereal. Because they gathered it up. It was sweet, honey-like nuts,
That's
honey
right.
nuttish flavor.
I'm sorry, Kiki. I forgot that you had told me, but Kiki said this when we were recording yesterday. She said that she thought that Joseph Smith died or was allowed to be killed because he was practicing ye old polygamy and God didn't like it. So that's right. That was Kiki's idea. I did steal it.
Although I'd say God said Joseph Smith's not doing it good enough. I want Brigham Young in there and really, really nail it.
Mhm.
Actually, didn't Brigham Young double the number of wives that Joseph had? Am I wrong about that?
I
Or
don't know
maybe he
exactly
was-
what you mean by that.
He was,
You
well, I mean, like,
do him
didn't-
better?
Didn't Brigham Young have double the number of the wives that Joseph Smith had? Or am I thinking, did he
Oh,
only have
I see.
60?
It's really close to that.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Well, I'm grateful and thankful that we've named one of the nation's most Mormon university after Brigham Young, because I think it's important to find someone who's very racist, who hated those who didn't believe in his beliefs,
Right.
who hated anything to do with minorities or, LGBTQ, any of that.
Yep.
Find someone who hates all those and name a university after them.
Right.
And stick with
Because-
it, even though we found out what a freaking racist he was.
Yeah, they changed all the names of, they took down the monuments of Confederate soldiers in the South, but BYU lives on as a statement that we will never change. And we all know how Brigham Young loved to learn new information rather than relying on old dogma.
Exactly.
So some president, I think it was just before the Abraham Lincoln race. Who ran against Abraham Lincoln?
Joe Montana.
Jimmy Carter.
Frederick Douglass. No, not Frederick Douglass. The smaller guy.
I don't remember.
Little
Remember-
Freddie Douglass.
They had great debates, but anyway, it was like there were
It's
three.
shameful that I'm certified to be a history teacher. That part of my brain is turned off right now.
There were three pillars of debauchery that they were running
Oh,
against,
yeah.
and
It
one
was-
was
yeah.
polygamy.
No, are you thinking about the twin barbarisms of polygamy and slavery? My brain was
Right.
like, zzz. You're thinking of
Is that
the
what it is?
formation.
Twin barbarisms.
Yes, the formation of the
polygamy
Democratic Party was based on abolishing the twin barbarisms of polygamy and slavery.
Right.
And that I'm actually being serious about. I'm not being
yes,
sarcastic. about
barbaric
this.
practices. Two barbaric practices: slavery and polygamy. And for some reason, there was no war against polygamy, but there was a war for slavery, over slavery.
Well, I mean, the Utah War could be, I guess,
Right.
considered.
It just
the war
wasn't
against-
as big of a deal, I guess.
It wasn't as quote unquote taught in quote unquote the textbooks of the Utah theocracy.
Yeah, but look it up. The twin prongs of barbarism, or whatever, that they were running against. They wanted to stop those. So they only really did one. They only got one of those stopped.
Well, they thought that they had stopped polygamy, but the Mormons were like, "Hey, okay, we'll stop. We'll stop."
Right. They
You
worked
guys-
for it, and then the Mormons played not two card money. What's that with the shell game? It's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, we're not doing
yeah.
marriages here, but maybe over there. Why don't you look in Mexico? Why don't you look in Canada? How about off the Pacific coast? Did you know some of the post manifesto marriages were done off the coast of San Francisco, officiated by Joseph F. Smith, because it was international waters,
Right.
so it wasn't
One
on
of
American
my-
soil.
At least one of my ancestors was sent to Canada to continue practicing polygamy, and then when he came back, actually was He's in that famous jail photograph of all the polygamists in the Utah jail.
That's why you wear that jail.
I
the
told you I wore
Hamburglar
it to
outfit.
fit in with my family members. They've been
Yeah,
they've
the
been
whole
lawless
history.
since the beginning.
Yeah, you have that jail gene.
That's right.
There you go.
Well,
thanks
we did
everybody
say
for
we were
watching.
going to end a long time ago, so
Yeah, notice how as we go to end the show, it just turns into a conversation.
That's right.
Anyway,
that's for the after show.
That's right. All right. We'll see
Thanks,
you later.
guys.
bye
Bye-bye.
guys. Thanks for coming.